Appreciate what you have before it turns into what you had. Hi, my name is Marco, and welcome back to the O of Course show. Hope you guys enjoyed that last episode where it was Trinity and I. You know, had to had to bring in a guest. Got to make things a little bit more exciting, because I know not all the times you guys are gonna want to hear me. So just had a little spice things up, but just gonna tell you a couple stories and kind of maybe some other things. Who knows? But once upon a time, in a small, picturesque village nestled in the rolling hills, there lived a young man named Thomas. He was an ordinary fellow with an ordinary life, but he had a peculiar habit of taking things for granted. Thomas had grown up in the idyllic village surrounded by lush green fields, babbling brooks, and a close-knit community. His days were filled with the routine of tending to his family's farm, as generations of his ancestors had done before him. But he rarely took the time to appreciate the beauty that enveloped him. My bad. The vibrant sunrise, the songs of the birds, and the rustling leaves of the trees were all part of the scenery he had hardly noticed. In his youth, Thomas had been in love with a girl named Sarah. She was the embodiment of grace and kindness, but his preoccupation, with his own pursuits left their love untended. He never fully cherished the laughter they shared, or the way her eyes sparkled when she smiled. Instead, he chased distant dreams and neglected to nurture the love that stood before him. As years passed, Thomas continued to overlook the value of the simple, everyday joys of life. His family's farm, once a source of pride and sustenance, became a burden. He often grumbled about the chores, dismissing the beauty of the golden wheat fields and the aroma of freshly tilled earth. One fateful day, a sudden storm swept through the village, devastating their crops and damaging their humble home. Thomas, for the first time, felt the full weight of his ingratitude. The village came together to help, showing him the strength of their community, and Sarah, now a kind-hearted woman, stood by his side. It was during the rebuilding process, as he worked tirelessly alongside his fellow villagers, that Thomas realized the beauty of the life he had taken for granted. The simple act of sharing a meal, the laughter of children, and the warmth of community became precious to him. Over time, Thomas found himself appreciating life's small pleasures. He and Sarah rekindled their love, and he marveled at the depth of their connection. They danced under the starry skies, watched sunsets together, and held hands during long walks through the meadows. Thomas had learned the valuable lesson that life's treasures are often hidden in plain sight. He had been blind to the wealth of happiness that surrounded him, but through hardship and humility, he had come to the understanding that taking things for granted is a path to regret, while gratitude is the key to a rich and fulfilling life. And so Thomas, once the young man who saw the world with unappreciative eyes, became a beacon of gratitude in the village, reminding everyone that life's most precious gifts are often right before our eyes, waiting to be cherished. And with that, just kind of just the way you see life. That's really all it depends. However you're gonna see the life you're living, because everyone sees the world differently, which is always amazing. Because think about it, if a poor black man from Chicago or from Baltimore sees the white man as greedy motherfuckers and just they're greedy people, and they're always rich and shit like that, that's how they're going to perceive them. And because of who they're seeing, and vice versa, the white people might think the black men are, just poor and disgusting and whatnot, but just because of just the amount of people that they saw that did that, now that's just how they see the world. Excuse me. It's always interesting with things like this. And so, another story of it. In a bustling city named Everdale, There lived a woman named Emily. She was an accomplished architect known for impressive skyscrapers and innovative designs. Yet, despite her professional success, she had a tendency to take life for granted. Emily's life revolved around her career. She worked long hours, often missing out on family gatherings and ignoring her friends. She rarely had time for leisure, always prioritizing work above all else. One day, Emily received a phone call that would forever change her life. It was her mother, Angela, calling to tell her that her father, Robert, had been diagnosed with a serious illness. Emily rushed to the hospital, but it was too late. Her father had passed away before she could even say goodbye. The loss of her father was a wake-up call for Emily. She realized how much she had taken her family for granted. Her parents had always supported her, and she had neglected the precious moments she could have spent with them. Regret weighed heavily on her heart. Determined to change, Emily decided to take a step back from her demanding career and focus on what truly mattered. She reconnected with her mother, spending quality time with her and cherishing every conversation and shared meal. The two of them found solace in each other's company, sharing stories of Robert's life and their own dreams. Emily also reached out to her friends, mending broken bonds and creating new memories. She discovered the joy of picnics in the park, lazy Sunday afternoons, and heartfelt conversations. She realized that her friends were her pillars of support, always there when she needed them. As she began to rebuild the relationships she had taken for granted, Emily's life blossomed in unexpected ways. Her architectural work took on new dimensions as she drew inspiration from her experiences and connections. She designed buildings that celebrated community and human connection, earning her even more acclaim. But the most amazing part of Emily's journey was yet to come. In the midst of her newfound appreciation for life, she reconnected with a childhood friend, Mark. As they spent time together, their friendship deepened into love. A botanist who had always cherished nature took Emily on hikes and introduced her to the world of flora and fauna. One day during a hike in a secluded forest, Mark proposed to Emily under the dappled sunlight, surrounded by the symphony of nature. Emily, who had once taken love for granted, was overwhelmed with gratitude for this new chance of happiness. Emily and Mark's love story blossomed, just like the city she had redesigned to emphasize community and connection. They got married, and their love became an example for others. Emily had discovered that the beauty of life lay not in the concrete and steel of buildings, but in the bonds we forge with each other. In the end, Emily's story was an amazing testament to the transformation one can undergo when they stop taking life for granted. Her journey from a work-obsessed architect to a person who cherished the simple joys of of love, family, and friendship was a reminder that the most incredible ending to a life story is the one written with gratitude and love. Which is so true, guys. Just so true. Just think about it. I mean, have you guys taken things for granted? Like, just think about it. Just think about times you have taken things for granted. And then just think about it. Just think about where you would be in life. Because even though those were happy stories, sometimes other stories aren't always just happy. Because think about it. Like, maybe you pushed away friends, family members too often. I'm not calling out people, but maybe you post too much of your fucking problems on Facebook. No one gives a shit. But some stories don't always end like that. Because even though, like I said, like pushing all those people away could then now make you literally lonely. Like, people probably aren't going to want to talk to you the same because you pushed them away. People are just going to see you different. They're going to see you who they saw last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Possibly just someone who was miserable in life, just hated life, hated everyone. And so when people when you might want to rekindle some of that some of that friendship or whatever, some people might not want to because they're gonna look at you and say no. Like this is awkward. Like this is awkward as hell that you're trying to be friends, and that may lead you to feel lonely or even depression. I mean, because I I sometimes feel lonely. I mean, I have a lot of people that love me. I live with her. I have my parents, my sister, brother. Um, and even then, sometimes I'm like, damn, like I just feel lonely. And but I mean, it's because I'm not taking things for granted. I mean, even though yes, um, I may feel lonely, but I know whenever I can like call them, text them, meet them, whatever, I know they're gonna be there. And some people don't have that. Some people don't have parents. Some people don't have uh, like a brother, siblings, or even they do, but they just the bond is just not there. And so that's why I mean, as much times as sometimes I'm, when I'm feeling lonely, because I'm scrolling through social media, mindlessly scrolling through social media, not really, just seeing the same stuff, and not really being able to just like text someone and just say, hey, what's up, um, and so that's why I need to I need to stop feeling so like lonely and sad. Um, sorry this sounds sad, but I promise you it's not. Just a little quick podcast episode. So thank you to like my 3 to 5 listeners. I really appreciate it. I would sing to you right now, but not only can I not sing for shit, my fucking voice is still iffy. But that's it for this episode. I love you guys. Hope you guys have a great day. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye for now.